Gambler's fallacy happens when you let previous, independent events change your thinking about future outcomes. For example, let's consider the flip of a coin. There are two possible outcomes, either heads or tails. Each outcome has a 50% probability of happening. Now, no matter how many times you flip that coin, there's still a 50% probability of either a heads or tails. But here's the problem. People let the previous flips impact their guesses on the next flip. Let's say heads shows up the first 3 times you flip the coin. People falling prey to gambler's fallacy are then more than 50% likely to guess heads on the 4th flip. But that's illogical. They let the recent pattern influence their next decision or decisions. This is a clear example of recency bias and gambler's fallacy. No matter how many times you flipped the coin before, the next flip still has a 50% probability of either heads or tails. And now for a quick trick question, can you come up with an example of why a coin flip, it isn't really 50-50 in the real world? If you think you know, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Either way, it's easy to see how gambler's fallacy works with the flip of a coin, but it can become much more complex. When it comes to casino card games, tracking the probabilities is more challenging. In that context, gambler's fallacy is also called the hot hand fallacy. A recent winning streak can impact how people bet going forward, even though the underlying probabilities, they don't really change, and they won't win on average. Now, going one step further, and one of my favorite sayings, don't confuse a good outcome with a bad decision. Just because an outcome works out in your favor, it doesn't mean that your decisions leading up to it were good. With investing, I'll sometimes see new investors win big on the first trade, and that's great. They might even rack up a few winners in a row starting out. But in worst case scenarios, they become overconfident due to the recent wins and increase the amount they invest. Although the winning streaks, they don't usually persist. Eventually the strategies, or lack thereof, stop working. You can find gambler's fallacy everywhere, and I hope my explanation and examples have helped. If you found this quick explanation useful or thought-provoking, I'd really appreciate it if you just tap that like button down below as well as subscribe, because that helps out my YouTube channel with the search algorithm. Also, if you have any comments or questions, please drop them down below.